Business on Purpose podcast.
Please don't get this one wrong. This is so crucial. One of the most human things you can do in a small business is onboard a new team member really, really well. Create an environment where they know exactly what's coming their way. Hey, it's Scott Beebe with the Business on Purpose podcast, and it is always a delight to be able to be in a position to try and help liberate you from the chaos of working in your business. And I was just recently with a new existing small business owner, but they're bringing in a new team member, and the new team member is coming from in town. They're excited. They've got a new opportunity. And at the same time, there's a nervousness, but they can't share that nervousness. For any of you that have been employees before, you know what I'm talking about. It's hard to go in to a place you've never been before and try to share truly what's going on in your mind. The excitement, the nervousness, the overwhelm. And so one of the most human things that you can do as a small business owner is to set up not only a great hiring process, but to also set up a great onboarding process. The hiring process does not end the day that you actually hire them, and the onboarding process does not begin the day you hire them. They crossfade, they merge. And so the moment you begin, quote, the hiring process, that hiring process goes for about a month to 3 months beyond the day that you actually hire them. And for the time that you feel like you're going to spend onboarding, you need to add time before that, because you're actually beginning the onboarding process before you actually hire the individual. Now, some of you might be thinking, what's onboarding? What does that mean? Well, when you bring a new team member into the fold, you got to remember they've got 1,000 questions. Yeah, but Scott, this person's done QuickBooks before, so they should know how to do QuickBooks here. Yes, they know how to do QuickBooks, just not the way you do it. And so you bring in a quarterback to a football team. Yeah, they know how to be a quarterback, but they don't know how to be a quarterback in your system. You still have to teach them your playbook. You still have to teach them your culture. You still have to teach them your methodology. And so it's really crucial that onboarding happens, and it happens very methodically. And so there's a real simple way to make onboarding happen very methodically. First place you go is to the role that you've created for them. Now, if you've not created a role for them, let's back the train up and let's go back. You've got to create a very specific, laid out role for exactly what you're asking them to do. If you don't do that, you've not earned the right to get frustrated with them when they do not pull through on what they've been asked to do. And when I say create a role, I literally mean write it down. Remember what Gerber says, if you don't write it down, you don't own it. So write the role down. Share the role with them over and over and over again. I've heard this before. I've shared it with them already. I shared it with them 3 months ago. Repetition is the mother of all learning, so you got to continue to share that with them over and over and over again. And in sharing that role, they begin to understand exactly what you've asked them to do. Now, once you've got that role in place, that's when you begin to drill down and take a 4 or 8 or 12-week period, go through the different tasks that are in that role, and start to walk with them through those tasks. Here's what I'd like for you to do. Here's what we're asking you to do. Here are the techniques, the processes for what we're asking you to do on this. And when you've got that in place, now you're beginning to revisit vision, mission, values, and the role. Revisit it again, meet with them at the end of the week, ask them how it's going, what questions do they have, constantly helping them to onboard well. Now, they're going to tell you, yeah, I'm getting it. Don't ask them that question. They don't know what they're supposed to get. They're new. So you set the tone. And say, hey, based on what we've discussed, what questions do you have? What thoughts do you have? Hey, you've got a fresh set of eyes. What ideas do you have? What things do you see here that maybe we could improve on, do better? A lot of times we miss that opportunity, and we don't want to do that. When you've got a new team member, I'm going to beg you, make sure you've got a role written down. Make sure that you've got an onboarding process in place. Make sure that you work that process, and then don't forget the fresh eyes that they've got, that they can lay on a new situation and offer insight, feedback, ideas to help you get better. It's the most human thing you can do when you bring on a new team member. We'll see you next time. mybusinessonpurpose.com/vision right here on the Business on Purpose podcast.